You know, the question I get asked most often is, Tony, how do you go to the bathroom in the suit? Just like that.
You know, ever since the miraculous events of Endgame, I feel like the MCU has had its fair share of, well, complete garbage. I'm gonna need therapy after this. Why don't we list off the good things post-Endgame? You got No Way Home, Loki. I think that's it.
And we're doing just fine, you piece of shit.
Yeah, Marvel's been at an all-time low, and I'm talking bargain bin at IMAX prices low. Boring! It's honestly wild to think the last time I felt something was back in 2021, when No Way Home dropped and life had meaning.
I love you guys.
Since then, Marvel is just bad.
Fuck off.
And like loyal lab rats, we keep watching a film that feels like it's been chewed up, spat out, and hastily reshot, rewritten just to push some vague agenda.
Funny how annoying a little prick can be, isn't it?
It's almost like their goal is to fail. However, maybe there's still hope. When Iron Man 3 introduced us to young Hartley Keener, played by Ty Simpkins, I thought, that's it, the next-gen genius with a troubled past.
So, who's home?
Well, my mom already left for the diner and Dad went to 7-Eleven to get scratchers. I guess he won because that was 6 years ago.
Whoever decided to bring him back for that moment is brilliant. It's like Marvel was setting the stage, planting the seeds for a new Iron Man. And I was hyped. I could not wait for them to finally announce... Wait, what? What do you mean he's not the next Iron... Ah, fuck! So if you didn't know, Marvel's been sitting on this for a while now. Ironheart wrapped up filming back in November of 2022, and now, in 2025, Marvel has finally decided to release it, dropping 6 episodes in batches of 3, like they're just trying to get it over with.
Not a great plan.
You're gonna bury your show in a 2-week phase cause you know no one wanted it. Now let me make one thing clear. I have no issue with Iron Man's successor being a woman. That's not the problem. The concept of passing the mantle down is great, and I'm all for fresh faces, new heroes, and expanding the universe. But what doesn't sit right with me is the why behind this direction. And let's be honest, we all know what I'm talking about. Hey, I love a good girls get it done moment.
Girls get it done.
But lately, with the string of misfires like Snow White, The Marvels, and She-Hulk, it's hard not to feel like we're being talked at rather than being told a story. As someone who's been there since day one, it's like Marvel's evolving away from the fans that built it. And honestly, I'm starting to pack up my bags and look across the street at James Gunn's DC universe, because at least over there, there's some spark of vision again. Before anyone jumps in with women deserve the spotlight too, yeah, of course they do. That's not the issue. I don't care if the next hero identifies as a fucking banana, toaster, or a cloud with a cape, as long as you give me a great character with a story worth investing in. But instead of creating real characters, Marvel's recent trend feels like a checklist, less about story and more about sending a message. But you know what? Despite all that, I still gave Ironheart a watch. Here's what I thought. Well, shit. This show is a mess, but I didn't completely hate it. To be honest, when I say that, I think it comes from a place of not expecting much anymore. So going into Ironheart, I actually felt like, hey, there might be potential here. In a weird way, the first 2 episodes, they're not awful. Sure, it's got its share of weird moments like this one.
Hey, black people. Hey, black people.
Yeah, I've always seen that kid in class, but he never does anything. He's more like a prep.
Okay, whatever. Yeah, the show has a lot of problems, but I tried to respect it for what it was almost doing, because as much as I wanted to like Riri Williams as a lead, I just don't. She comes off like a talented yet entitled brat, and instead of earning our support, she constantly leans on excuses, like,
I won't roast Tony Stark off rip, but I don't have $1 billion, and I can't compete without resources.
Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with a box of scraps!
When you're trying to establish Iron Man's replacement in the MCU, the bare minimum is to make your audience want to root for them. But if your main character is giving off arrogant energy in episode 1, it's hard to stay invested if they're not likable. Throughout the show, Riri is being asked,
Why the iron suit?
Because I could.
You said that before. That line, it actually kind of works. It hints curiosity and hides a deeper meaning.
Stepdad used to say the best way to know a thing is to take it apart, put it back together. Then you can see what it's really made of.
See? That's interesting. There's something there. The idea that she builds to understand. That taking something apart helps her find what it's made of. That could have been a core message. Riri learning to take herself apart and understand what she's made of. But instead, we get this half-baked response.
What I'm building is
important?
iconic.
No real cause behind it, just iconic. As if the Iron Man suit is only worth something because it gets attention.
I could build 1,000 other things and no one would give me.
And yeah, later she says she built the armor to protect her family. But it's hard to get behind that when the only reason they were in danger to begin with is because of her. Her arrogance, her refusal to take responsibility, and her lack of foresight literally put them in harm's way. There's so much this show could have been. Ideas buried in here. But it feels like Marvel didn't trust the story it almost had, and what we're left with is a show that's unsure of what it actually wants to be. Wasn't I supposed to not completely hate Ironheart? Alright, let's talk about what I did like. Natalie. The idea of having an AI based on the memories of your dead best friend created from a brain scan? That's something I've never seen before. There's stuff that doesn't make sense, like her getting captured, or her just disappearing when Riri is in danger. Wasn't she designed to protect her?
Which is protect her and help her.
I'm going to bed. Peace!
I guess she forgot. What the fuck? Natalie freaks out when a gun is pulled on her. I know some people won't buy it and you gotta suspend disbelief, but when she has all of Riri's memories, then a trauma response doesn't seem that far-fetched. With Natalie around, Riri escapes from all the chaos, and emotionally, she works. She helps us see Riri as vulnerable, someone we can actually empathize with. But here's the issue. When those emotional moments are supposed to connect with Riri's motivations, things start to unravel. Enter Zeke Stain, son of Obadiah Stain.
Hello.
Fuck, that was satisfying. And I have to be honest, I found him more likable than Riri from the moment he showed up. Zeke's the only character who actually feels like he has something driving him. He starts off as this awkward sad guy in his 30s, someone who never stands up for himself. And over time, he learns to take a stand. He's actually going through something. He feels like a genuine person, someone who's ashamed of his father, who has guilt for even having a thought of loving him. He's the only real thread that connects us back to the original Iron Man movie. But here's where it all falls apart. He legally changed his name to Joe and just tells us his real one is Zeke Stain. You see, what really happened to Obadiah was covered up. No one knows he tried to kill Tony, but somehow Zeke knows anyway. Marvel, ever heard of show don't tell? Why not show us the night Obadiah tried to kill Tony? Let us see Zeke discovering the real monster his dad was. That would have actually meant something. But no, instead we get this cliche subplot where Zeke gives Riri a mysterious piece of tech and immediately says,
"But promise me this won't blow back on me."
Which basically screams, hey, I'm gonna get blamed for your mess later. It's so lazy, so predictable. You already know Riri is gonna screw it up and he's gonna be the one to pay for it. And despite all the crap he's put through, being pushed around, manipulated, blamed, when he finally has the chance to get revenge on Riri,
Please.
he chooses to do the right thing.
You need to leave Chicago now.
He walks away. And that's what I mean when I say I'm conflicted about this show. There's so much potential. Zeke could have been an incredible character. In some ways he is. Zeke doesn't feel like part of Riri's journey. He feels like he just got swept up in her bullshit and he deserves way better. And I think that's all I liked about this show. The rest of the characters feel like complete deadweight. This guy, despite being Natalie's actual brother exists purely for exposition dumps. He's only got one good scene where he finds out about Natalie being the AI, but the story moves completely past it like, whatever. And suddenly he doesn't care as much, so it ends up feeling pointless. And Riri's mum? Total pushover. And then the fact that her mum just so happens to be friends with someone who just so happens to be a real magic witch? I don't buy it. I just don't. It's not set up, it's not earned, it's lazy. It feels like the writers pulled it out of a cereal box. Pointless time like this should have been given to characters like Zeke. And now for the main villain of it all, Mephisto and the Hood. Let's get this over with. Mephisto shows up to some sad dude with daddy issues, offers him magic powers, and the guy's like, and Mephisto's like, then in the final episode he gets greedy. Riri shows up in a magic Iron Man suit. Yes, you heard me right, and I don't want to talk about it. And that's it. The end. This Hood guy does have personal beef. Riri was involved in his best friend's death, and he finds that out through this shadow vision. Again, I don't want to talk about it. And look, he starts off okay. There's a hint. Just a hint of a real arc, a conflicted guy maybe torn between two paths, but by the end he's just another speed bump for Riri to fly over. She takes the Hood, wins the fight, and the dude is completely forgotten. And don't bring up the post-credit scene, they're not following that up. Riri meets Mephisto face to face, and just like every tragic hero moment we've seen done better 1,000 times, he tempts her with power. He tells her,
time heals all wounds, but that's bollocks. The pain, it never goes away. I can fix that.
And instead of learning anything, instead of growing from her losses, instead of realizing how that pain shaped her, she just takes the deal anyway. Yeah. Real hero stuff. This could have been a story about loss, about consequence, about choosing who you want to be in the face of grief. But instead, it's none of those things. Ironheart, compared to Marvel's other post-Endgame disasters, isn't the worst. I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy some of it. There were moments, glimpses, but once the credits rolled and I stepped back to think about it all, I just felt empty. This should have been a show about Iron Man's successor, about what makes them different from Tony, about what still makes someone a hero even when life completely falls apart. And oh boy, it can fall apart. Ironheart feels like a show Marvel wanted just to throw out, get it over with. No fanfare, no belief in the character, just to tick a box and sweep it under the rug. And look, I'll give them this. It doesn't force a girls get it done moment. It doesn't even slap you in the face with politics. But what it does do is give us a lead character who doesn't grow, who doesn't learn from their mistakes, who when things get difficult just says,
I can't do this,
and blames everything on what she doesn't have.
Someone who, due to no fault of their own, finds themselves always at the short end of the stick.
Instead of valuing what she does, Tony came to terms with the responsibility tied to his creations, knowing they could either help the world or destroy it. He lived under the shadow of a father who never seemed to acknowledge him.
He was cold, he was calculating. He never told me he loved me, he never even told me he liked me.
Only to discover
what is and always will be my greatest creation is you.
Tony carried that pain, learned from it, and moved forward. But Riri, she makes a deal with the devil, not to move forward, but to undo her pain. Instead of accepting her loss and growing from it, she takes the easy route. She tries to rewrite the past instead of learning from it. And that choice, no matter how emotional, isn't strength, it's weakness. Cause as I've already said, what she should have done was
break yourself down. See what you're made of.